All right, well, just getting started. Had a chance to clean up and go through the film. A lot of it's what we thought. I got asked some questions, though, the other night post-game, and I said I needed to look. I think looking at it, we're really disappointed that we missed an opportunity. Kind of feel like it was one of those games that we lost more than we got beat, and that's frustrating. We didn't make ourselves hard to beat as a football team, and we had a lot of opportunities. We missed those opportunities to be 3-0. I think defensively we played really well. Great effort, forcing turnovers, big stops. Really proud of how those guys played. I think from a special team standpoint, we really dominated the game from a special team standpoint in all four phases. When you start thinking there's 30-plus plays usually in a game, special teams, we won all four phases. The problem is, we had two critical holding penalties that hurt our field position, and then we had the unfortunate ball bounce and hit us in the back and give them a turnover. And that's kind of where we are in teams right now. We're actually a lot better on teams this year, but we've kind of had one play every game that's just been critical. And so if we can clean up the critical disaster play, I think we're getting better on teams. Offensively, it's not to our standard. It was a very poor performance. We knew that live. Everybody did. I thought they played hard. I thought we played physical. We blocked extremely well on the perimeter and did things that are evidence that we played hard, but we did not play well. We were very undisciplined in how we performed, and that's I think probably the frustration you felt in me after the game, and I know our fan base and everyone else felt it too. So, but I'm excited that we're moving forward. They're all things that I know we can fix and improve on as we turn the page and get ready to move on. Unfortunately, we went 2-1 in the first quarter of our season, had a chance to go 3-0. We didn't do it. When it comes to the quarterback situation, I think we've got a clear direction now on consistency. Kevin Jennings is going to be our starting quarterback. Preston will serve as the backup. It was not an easy decision in terms of the fact that Preston's a winner. He loves this place. He's given a lot to this program. It is not all about Preston. It's just this gives our team the best chance moving forward right now, and that's what we're going to do. But like I said, he's a winner. It's not the last you'll hear of Preston Stone, but that's what we're going to do with Kevin moving forward, and we got a lot of confidence in our football team to clean up the things we need to clean up.
Can you kind of talk about the factors that led into Kevin, a little more with Kevin becoming starter? Was it how he was moving the offense last game? Do you think it's been over the course of this
season? There's a lot of factors. It wasn't one game or one moment. Like I said, both guys have had a lot of success and won a lot. We're not performing well offensively, but it does, if you just watch and you do look at all the evidence, we've moved the ball better at the beginning of this season when he's in there as a team. And again, that's not always on the quarterback. Early drives the other night, we had a lot of busts and protections and other things that aren't on the quarterback that really contributed to some of the early issues. So that's frustrating, but that's why I said it's not just one snapshot of anything. We feel like it gives us the best chance to win with this team. We feel like the way we are on offense and the direction we need to go, and with the pieces we have, it's going to give us the best chance to win, and most importantly, gives our team and our offense consistency, and we can start to get back to the identity that we've always had on offense and move forward and give ourselves the best chance to win.
Can you talk a little bit about the receivers in this past game? I know you said you weren't necessarily happy with the offensive performance overall, but how did you feel like they were approaching that game, creating separation?
Well, look, the way that we're not making people defend the whole field, and that's some of the reasons for things we've got to do differently, and that's what we've always done. They were able to just sink back with 4 or 5 guys deep. They're not letting you be explosive. Nobody has in the first 3 weeks. It's smart against us because that's something we've done well historically. And they're packing it in, and we're able to run the ball, but you can't be overly explosive running the ball. And so that's why you saw the other night we had tons of 8, 10, 12-play drives, and then we blew it in the red zone. The difference in the game was we had the ball inside the 10 basically 3 times and got 0 points. We went for it on 4th and 1, didn't execute. We should have scored a touchdown. We didn't execute. That's the undisciplined piece that we got to fix. Then we fumble at the 5, and then we throw an interception at the 5. You kick 3 field goals there, you win the game. And field goals aren't good. The other 2 times we did kick field goals. So we were there 5 times, got 0 touchdowns. That's almost unheard of for us. And so, the way they're playing us, we got to make people defend the whole field. And we can't let them do that to us. So the receivers didn't have any one-on-one opportunities to separate. They didn't play a lot of man coverage. It was a lot of zone coverage. A lot of guys were double teamed. That's why you saw we were able to get some things going in the middle of the field. But I don't think the receivers necessarily played poorly when we threw it to them. They caught it and made plays, but we didn't have a lot of opportunities. But we've got to do things as an offense to make people defend us differently so we can open up the opportunities we need.
Offensive line, just kind of where do you see that settling, and is it about moving it around again, or is it just getting that group that you primarily use?
I think we still kind of know the 5 or 6 guys. We may look at the right matchups in terms of that. I mean, we were really poor. I mean, again, I've told you, a team that's more of a 4 down front, they came out in odd stack look. We did not handle that well the first 2 drives, but even then, the issues we had were all really self-inflicted. The first third down, it is 3rd and 11, so that's tough, but we just didn't execute a basic pass off of a twist. The second drive, the very first play, we try to play action, and our running back and our guard don't execute the protection on a blitz. And we're going to have a chance for a big play there. Instead, now it's 2nd and 20. I mean, we've just gone backwards in those moments. We had to play a critical drive that ended up giving them good field position and scoring, where we try to throw it down the field on 1st down, and we get a holding call. Now it's 1st and 20. So it's, again, I'm not taking away. We lost to a good opponent that played well and played hard. It was a really tight, close, physical defensive game. But, man, we did a lot of things to beat ourselves. And good teams make themselves hard to beat. It's what we did last year. And we just did not make ourselves hard to beat Friday night, and we lost the opportunity to win.
With some of that, do you approach this open week maybe doing a little more full-speed stuff than you would normally like to do in a bye week?
Yeah, I mean, there's a fine line. We're going to make sure we've got a long 9 games still left and a long season and a physical season. We're about to play the hardest 3-game stretch SMU's played in 30 years. I mean, it just is what it is. We're about to go TCU, Florida State, Louisville. SMU's not played a 3-game stretch like that in anybody on our football team's lifetime. So we're going to be smart. This week does give us a chance. We're fairly healthy after the first 3 games. We got some guys that are normal bumps and bruises and a few guys that are nicked up. But, get our guys to feeling as fresh as they can by next Saturday. At the same time, there's a lot of work to be done, to your point. And it's early in the season. I think you approach maybe a bye week in week 4 for us, 3 for everyone else, different than maybe the other 2. We're going to get our work in, but, we've been smart. I think today's Tuesday, and we've not had a full practice yet. Normally we would have today, but we are going to tomorrow and Thursday, and we'll get running around Friday. So we're going to, I think, do a good job balancing and getting the work in. We were always going to do full speed stuff, but we're not going to be crazy, because we're going to get after it again next week and get ready to go play.
It's early on, but initial kind of impressions of TCU, and we'll have another.
Yeah, I'll be, got to watch them play the Stanford game, and then I've now seen their other game. Offensively they're the same. They're explosive. They got really good playmakers. I know they're getting the ball to Savion a lot, but they got a lot of other dudes that are really good football players. They got good running backs. They got great tight ends. Quarterback's a really good player. He's solid, man. He's accurate. He gets the ball out. If you give him an opportunity, he's going to make you hurt. He's not going to miss open guys, and he's not going to not know where to go with the ball and take sacks and stuff. So, I think they're really, really good on offense. I mean, they score points, and even their first game, when they weren't scoring, it was more self-inflicted, and they got that figured out. So, and then I think defensively, they made a change with Andy, and they know they want to be more aggressive. They blitz a ton. That's what they've done in the first 2 games. They're more of a 4 down front, which is a change from what they've been, but I think they've got really good edge rushers. I think they got big D tackles. I think the linebackers are probably the strength of their defense. I mean, all 3 of those guys are really, really good, and then I like both their safeties. So it's a good football team. I think they're going to have a chance to win the Big 12, but, SMU, TCU, we're always excited for that opportunity.
We look at a team that's got strong linebackers like that. I know you kind of saw it with Kevin in that last game, the ability to have multiple options. How important do you think that is?
Yeah, I mean, it helps you in a run game, helps you extend plays in the passing game. We've got to make sure that we play aggressive and we make things happen and we value the football at the same time. But, I don't think there's any question that, Kevin could put stress on the defense.
Defense has just been so good the last,
Yep.
last year in the first few games. Just what is it about Coach Simon's scheme? I know you brought in a lot of good players, but that he just kind of keeps finding ways to get those guys in good situations.
Yeah, Scott Simon is one of the best defensive coaches in college football. I think he's proven that because of the sustained success he's had. I mean, you look what he did at Liberty, and then what he's now done here last year and what we're doing into this year. I think just, he's a very sound coach from a schematic standpoint. He's a tireless worker in terms of studying film and trying to find weaknesses in opponents or how to best attack them. And, the scheme is designed to do what people try to do to us and limit the explosive plays. And so even when people are moving the ball on you, you make them drive the field, gives you a chance to get off field goals or force the turnovers, et cetera. And I think most importantly, of course, last year was big for us as a program defensively, but he's just instilled so much confidence in our players. Success breeds confidence. We've been able to have some success on defense. We know the opponents are about to get a lot better. We know the offenses are going to get better. We're not going to hold people to 18 points every week, but that's not what we have to do to win. But our guys play with a lot of confidence, and but I think Scott's really good. I just think, like I said, I think the biggest thing is we just have a confident edge. We expect to play well each week on defense like we expect to play well on offense. And so when we don't, we're usually really upset, and that's where we want to be.
How big maybe that first year probably wasn't his most enjoyed year with some of that stuff, but how big was battling through that, sticking with it?
Yeah. First year you come in, you haven't had a chance to recruit and do the things that maybe, you want to do. And we still found a way to have a winning season and get to a bowl and do some good things. But, no, I think it was frustrating for him and everybody. But I never had a doubt that he knew what he was doing and our staff knew what we were doing. And I think our kids deserve a lot of credit for staying bought into it going into year two.
I know you obviously had Preston and Kevin both coming in as captains for this
Yeah.
team. Can you talk about, obviously we know what kind of faith that you have in Kevin, but what you've seen from the players and the faith that they have in him?
Yeah. I mean, the players believe in those guys because they voted them both captains. So that's not going to change. It's their team. It's not my team. It's their team. I just lead it. But, yeah, Kevin walked into Tulane last year and led us to a conference championship game victory. I think Kevin has a lot of upside and ability to get better each week. I think there's a reality. He has 2 career starts, and so there's still some inexperience, like even the other night in that 2-minute drill. We needed to be better. I needed to be better, but I think you can see it's a guy's first time ever in a 2-minute drill at the end of a game, and it's just different than practice. So I think he'll get better and better. He just has to be Kevin. He has to get the ball to the teammates, distribute the ball, execute the offense. There'll be plays to be made, and when this happens, his ability will take over. But he doesn't have to go out and be Superman. That's not what we're asking him to do. But I think our kids believe in him.
I know you talk about they can both run this system. You don't
Yep.
have to change a lot, but does it now help, instead of starting Preston, going to Kevin, and then finishing with him, to be able to put maybe an offensive game plan for Kevin? Does that help you out as a play caller?
I think it helps not only me but our team out to just have consistency, whoever it is, right? They can both run our offense. They are both different. There's nothing wrong with that. We've obviously won with Preston at a good level. We've won with Kevin. Like I said, it's not ever an easy decision to make when you kind of got to do what you feel is best for the football team, knowing it's going to hurt someone you really care about. And it doesn't diminish our belief in Preston. This is not the end for Preston Stone. You've not heard the last of Preston Stone, whether it be here at SMU or anywhere. Like, he's a winner. He's disappointed like we all are and like he should be, but he's going to handle it like the winner and champion he is. But, yeah, to your question, more importantly, whichever direction we decide to go, it allows us to build the identity we need to have on offense. And, we've always had an identity on offense. It's been kind of hard these first 3 games. And that's not on the kids. That's my job to get that done. Look, I'm happy where our program is because I think we're 10-2 in our last 12 games, and we're sitting here really disappointed that we lost a game to BYU, a great program, and because we should have won it, and we very well could have won it. And look, that's where we want to be. Losing stinks, and so. But again, when you're 10-2 in your last 12 games, we're doing something right. Our guys will respond. I know we got a tough stretch coming up. It's more about us kind of responding the right way and continuing to progress forward, and I think we'll do that.
First of all, happy birthday to your 2 boys.
Yeah, thanks.
What does it mean for you to have built the sort of program and culture where your boys can be around the players and not only learn to be better football players, but also better men?
Yeah, it's cool. They're 14 today. It's crazy. And it happens fast. I mean, you get on your phone, and so you start seeing this day 9 years ago, this day 6 years ago. So this morning we were driving to school and seeing all these photos. I'm like, holy cow. I mean, it happens fast. It's fun. It's fun to have them along for the ride. As coaches' kids, they miss out on some things, but they also get to do a lot of really cool things no one else gets to do. And, it's cool seeing them this year in their 8th grade season. They're 2-0 at their school. They're fired up. And Thomas is playing quarterback and Hudson's receiver and corner. And just last night they were watching film of their next opponent on huddle at the house. And Thomas coming going, look, Dad, here's what the corner and safety does. And I'm like, man, I'm just Dad, But and he's texting his offensive coordinator constantly, wearing him out. So that part of it's fun. But the best part of your question is, wins and losses are important, but the caliber of kids we have here at SMU is special. The culture that we have, that our coaching staff has put together, that the kids have bought into, the kind of kids we have that, they've come and a lot of them have come and watched them play games. They have our players on their screensavers at home on devices and stuff. And so that's what's really cool, is to see them get to experience that and to be really proud of how our players embrace, not just my kids, all our coaches' kids, for that kind of family atmosphere that we have here. So, but yeah, happy birthday to the boys. Kind of crazy.